Yo guys, welcome to ShayanGaming. Today we're going to be talking about Aurelion Sol, the new champion in the mid lane, and times to different parts of this video will be in the description below because we're going to be talking about loads of things including items, and some of them work really well with this champion, so yeah. So the first thing I wanted to talk about was kind of something really epic. When you're using the E that makes you fly, you can actually use your Q and the radius becomes absolutely huge. Look at that, imagine engaging a team fight like that. That would be pretty damn badass. Another interesting thing to take into account is obviously you know the E, when you get this 100 stacks you can fly for some distance, but even when it's on cooldown you still get the movement speed boost when you're walking in a straight line, as you can see on my champion's information page. And this is really good when you're chasing enemy champions because yeah, even if you haven't got fly, you can still just chase them and gain movement speed and kind of, yeah, end up killing them. Another thing regarding the E is once you have the 100 stacks for the ability, it's always there. You don't have to because obviously if you stop moving, you kind of lose your passive movement speed, and also if you take sharp turns and stuff you lose it, but your E, once it's at 100 stacks, it's always there, so you can always use it. As you can see, Aurelion Sol, which kind of looks like a little dog right now, is kind of doing some weird dance moves. Now one thing I wanted to test is if when you're moving in a straight line and you're getting max movement speed from your passive with your E, and you choose to, do the flight, if you regain all that speed still, but as you can see it actually drops it, so you can't get all your movement speed stacks, fly, and then continue with your max movement speed stacks. You have to regain it again. So at the beginning of the game, the Q does not continue flying forever, even if you walk towards it, and obviously you have your E passive movement speed. But obviously, as you saw in the beginning of the video, once you have your E and you're actually using the ability later on in the game, then you can keep up to pace with your Q, which is pretty good. Now one interesting thing to know about your W in terms of your outer rim is it's the same range as your attack range, as you saw previously killing the dragon, and also it does proc Thunderlords, so you're kind of getting at what I'm going to suggest for the Masteries. Later on in the game you have 269 damage on your passive. That's insane. And on your W it's 405, as you'll see now. That's basically crazy. That isn't even full build, but you can imagine how much damage that does in laning phase, or if you're outside in a team fight, you just do nothing and your W is just damaging everyone. Another cool thing to do with your W is basically clearing waves. You can clear them quite easily if you get them all lined up, and it looks pretty cool as well at the same time. Now in terms of some combos, well, obviously when you're taking a turret it's kind of nice to stand near the minions, obviously if it's safe to do so, because obviously your passive is just clearing the wave while you're taking the turret, and yeah. So another combo for just when you're in laning phase, so if you want to proc the Thunderlords, is kind of just either W or Q, one of them, whichever one's easier to do first. Later on it becomes easier to do W first because of the slowing item we get, Rylai's thingy. And another combo for team fights is basically to if you want to flash in and then ult, because obviously it pushes everyone to outer rim, so if your teammates are somewhere nearby, you can just kind of flash in and then push them all out. Although I think it does push them around you in a circle and not necessarily in one direction like Gnarl or something. Now in terms of leveling up, I'd probably say W first, especially if you're in a lane that it's hard to farm with, because W will just make it really easy, because it does execute minions below 25 health as well. Whoa, your passive does, and your W obviously does more damage, so that doesn't really matter. And then I'd probably max Q so that you have the maximum duration on the stun, and then take E at some point during laning phase, just so that it's easier to get back to lane when you're back. Now in terms of items, I have it on the screen here, starting with Doran's Ring, and then first back you want to get Catalyst Protector, gives you just more mana in general and health, and kind of makes you a bit tanky. And then also your core item, obviously after you get rid of Aegis, would be Rylai's Crystal Scepter, because the slow does work with your W, as you can see here, so that's pretty good. And then it works well with the Mastery that increases damage when people are slowed. And then also you want to go for Leandra's Torment afterwards, because your passive and your W does also deal damage over time every time it hits them, so that kind of works well as well. That actually makes sense, which is pretty cool. And then obviously Rabadon's pretty sick, more damage, and Void Staff for when they start building MR and they get really scared of you. So now we talk about the Masteries. So as you can see, I'm taking Double-Edged Sword. Now even though we're not melee and we don't get that arbitrage of damage to damage taken, it is easy to hit your W and stuff, so that kind of just gives you 2% more damage every time you hit it. And then we go for Oppressor, because more damage when they're slowed, which works really well with Rylai's, and also when you stun them and you're just hitting them with your W, you're dealing even more damage because of that. And then we do go with the one that gives you Merciless, the one that basically does more damage the lower health they are, because we don't really need the mana regen, because we are getting Catalyst to Protect and Rod of Ages and honestly, I feel like it's enough. Yeah, it should work fine. And then Thunderlords obviously at the end because it's really easy to proc. But obviously this could all change and other things could be better. This is very beginning Masteries. And then for runes, I don't know, pretty much like the same runes the only rune page I've had for AP for like the last year or something. 3 AP coins, 9 magic pen marks, 9 armor seals, 9 magic resist glyphs. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this guide. If you did, be sure to leave a like. That'll be totally epic. And yeah, be sure to play Aurelion Sol. It's a damn pretty fun champion to play, and I feel like there might be loads of nerfs coming in. She does get banned a lot right now, but yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Adios!